Let's see who lives the longest. We'll have some fun here. You would think if money and technology and knowledge and access to the best doctors and insurance had something to do with longevity, that billionaires, if you take billionaires as a group, as a subculture, they would have the biggest percentage of 100-year-olds, or at least average lifespans, wouldn't you? Okay. Well, Forbes magazine did that study. I thought that was the greatest. I was going to do it. And I kept writing Forbes magazine. Had they ever done it? And they said, okay, Wallach, we're going to do it. So I didn't have to spend the money. This came out in 2004, and they asked the question, what kills billionaires? I thought that was great, right? And so what they did was study billionaires. They said billionaires are killed by the same unglamorous things that kill the rest of us: heart attack, stroke, diabetes, obesity, cancer, kidney failure, because they said they use the same doctors as everybody else. Dumb! Now, they said as of 2004, there's never been a billionaire who lived to be 100, and the average lifespan of billionaires is 78. The average lifespan of a falling down red wine drunk from Aurora, Ontario is 75. You don't gain a whole lot in longevity and health by being a billionaire and paying for the most expensive doctors. Well, they didn't like that, so they redid it 7 years later. In March of 2011, they redid the study. Again, cover article. There it is, March of 2011. There still has never been, as of 2011, a billionaire lived to be 100. Looks like Warren Buffett's not going to make it. And the average age dropped to 66. Now, wait a minute. In 2004, the average lifespan of billionaires was 78. And following the doctor's instructions, they dropped to 66. They lost 12 years in longevity listening to the doctors. Now, would you want a doctor who brags that he treats billionaires? I'd chase him off my lawn with a chainsaw, right? This guy, Steve Jobs, died at 56, 10 years before the average. He brought the average down. You see, he was a vegan. That's why he named his first company Apple. He was a vegan. And he believed in technology as a soul. He thought technology was it. And so he thought you could take a SIM card out of his belly and put a SIM card in. I guarantee you, he had more people looking for his cure than anybody else ever on earth. There was millions and millions and millions of people, because they knew if they had found his cure, they'd be made a trillionaire, wouldn't they? So they're a little 3 years old, boy, they're texting and they're Wikipediaing and Googling and all this stuff looking for the answer. Bam, he's dead at 56. Now, Grandma was still alive, and he'd have gone to his grandmother, and she'd have given him chicken soup. He'd still be alive. But he got the best medicine that technology could offer, and that's what killed him. This looks like a pretty good meal for the average person. You see the grilled chicken breast, but you can see this burnt fat here where the grill was. Grill burnt the fat in those lines. Well, that turned into heterocyclic amines, which was one of the most egregious cancer-causing substances ever. It's more dangerous for forming cancer than all the chemicals that Dow Chemical could put together. And people voluntarily eat that way. Okay? You shouldn't be doing that. We know that there's at least 4 minerals in here. There's sulfur in the essential amino acids in that chicken breast. Not a lot, but there's some sulfur in there. Methionine, cysteine. Then there's magnesium, because it takes magnesium to make broccoli green. All other plants, the green is only in the leaves. Broccoli is one of the places where you get some magnesium in the actual plant, the food itself. Then all other plants on here, the rice and the berries and the melon and the carrots and the cauliflower, require potassium and phosphorus. So you have potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, and sulfur. So we know there's 4 minerals on this dish. That's all we know. We know there's some amino acids in the chicken breast. We know there's some antioxidants in those berries and melon. How many antioxidants measured by ORAC points are in there? We don't know. If you knew that if you take 100,000 ORAC points a day in antioxidants, it would eliminate cancer totally, and nobody in your family would get cancer if they all took in 100,000 ORAC points, how many of you would demand to know how many ORAC points are in those berries? Well, it'd be pretty expensive to analyze each batch, wouldn't it? Well, I'm going to analyze each berry at $2,500. It's not going to happen. Okay? And so what's going to happen is, as you'll see in a moment, we have products that 2 units of the product, which are about the size of a pat of butter, have 33,000 ORIC points. So what I need to do is take 2-3 times a day, which I do. I get over 100,000 ORIC points from this dark chocolate product called Triple Treat Chocolate. And it's a fun way to lower blood pressure, get your ORIC points, get over 100,000 ORIC points, and add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. Why would you hope and pray by eating, well, I'm eating dark berries, there's lots of antioxidants. What does lots of mean? How close to 100,000 does that come? Is there 25 in there? Is there 50? Is there 200? Is there 1,000? That's still 99,000 short. The only way you're going to guarantee you're going to get all essential nutrients in optimal amounts is to supplement. You must supplement. You cannot get everything you need just by eating well. It's impossible. Now the problem we have in both Canada and the United States and the industrialized world is that we have baby boomers, the result of the Second World War, when all the boys came home from the Second World War. And being born between 1946 and 1964, it's this large bubble, kind of like an egg going through a hose, a garden hose, right? And there's 80 million baby boomers in America and 8 million baby boomers in Canada. Between us, there's 88 million, almost 100 million baby boomers. Add on a couple more years, there's 100 million of us, right? Now, this is a huge market, and everybody goes after it.